Hi, wisdom seekers. This is Dr. Sherry Shoemaker at Where Spirit Takes Me. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I used to do a practice of getting up in the morning and to have a theme for the day or a thought for the day that I could use throughout the day to keep me kind of on track and connected to my higher self. I would take a book and I would open it, and the first thing that I saw, I would read and read it out loud, and then I would, contemplate about it. So today, I have a book that I have not read for a long time, and it's the Reflections on the Art of Living, a Joseph Campbell companion. I love Joseph Campbell. He was a professor and writer, and he wrote about myths, and that myths are like life's journey. And if you listen to the people talk about tarot, you will hear about the fool's journey and going through life and going through being strictly on this plane, and then through the arcana, major arcana, he gets to the spiritual plane and makes new choices and has new thoughts. So I was going to take this book and I'm just going to open it. I was really tempted to open it before I started the video and then just kind of mark the page. But then I thought, I felt, no, I want to see what it really means and how this thought today will be the perfect one. The quote that I read will be the perfect one for today. So I'm just going to kind of almost like shuffling cards and then just open. So here's what I see. Heaven and hell are psychological definitions. The Catholic definition of mortal sin should relieve you of the thought that you have committed one. As a Catholic, you learn that for a sin to be mortal, the kind that condemns you to hell, it has to be a grievous matter over which there has been sufficient reflection, done with full consent of the will. So a mortal sin is a deliberate exclusion of the gift of grace. And that is what the devil symbolizes. You cannot open to supernatural grace, to the voice of God. Deliberately breaking the ritual law can be a mortal sin. But here's the bizarre thing about such a religion of ritual laws. Kill your mother in a passion, and that is not a mortal sin. That's a venial sin. And you will have your 2,000 years in purgatory on that one. But one little mortal sin, and you're bound for hell. Let's all go in a big chariot. When the church said that eating meat on Friday was no longer a mortal sin, there was a crisis in the entire Catholic community. In New York City, where there are a lot of Catholics, there was a great crisis, part of which had to do with the fish merchants. When the symbols are interpreted spiritually rather than concretely, then they yield the revelation. Now, if you were not brought up Catholic, just transfer this into your religion's mores and laws and rules and restrictions. I was brought up Catholic, so I totally understand all this stuff about mortal sins and having to go to confession and having them, forgiven, and hopefully you didn't trip and drop dead in between confessions, even at 6 years old, because you didn't want to go to hell just because you missed Mass on Sunday. So it's a reminder to me that we need to think, that we need to be connected to our higher self, that we need to be aware of our surroundings, and that laws made by man change. Rules made by man change. Truths do not change. So loving, being kind, forgiving, helping, caring, being thoughtful, those rules do not change. Having boundaries to take care of yourself, as long as they do not harm anyone else, caring about yourself, feeling good, feeling loved, allowing, receiving all that's good in life, those are truths. Those are things that we embody and hold dear and hold close. Rules are made by men and have been written so they look really serious. But then when the men decide they're not serving them anymore, they change it. It's like the fish on Friday. There were too many Catholics who were leaving the church. So they go, okay, well, we'll get rid of that rule. But then the fishmongers, they were a little upset because they sold a lot of fish on Friday or Thursday for Friday. And now they had to find a new way of making up that income. So it makes people think, expand, and grow. And that's what we are here for, to expand and grow, to learn new things. So this is my book of the day, Reflections on the Art of Living. There's a lot of other information in here. The warrior's approach to life is to say yes to life, yay to it all. Participate joyfully in the sorrows of the world. We cannot cure the world of sorrows, but we can choose to live in joy. That's totally different than what I had just read. So know that this is a great book. It has a lot of information. Look up Joseph Campbell. He's really a special man who taught a lot of people and really changed a lot of lives. So go out in your day. Try this little practice too of just taking a book and opening it and listening to the message that you hear and thinking about it. And how can you incorporate it into your life and what does it mean to you? You can do that with music on the radio. What is the first song that you hear when you turn on the radio, or the first words? So anyway, that's a little practice to just move forward in your life. So stay inspired, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.